Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Little Likac podcast. My name is Amanda. This is episode 44 and it's a December 2022 Vlogmas special. Thank you for joining me today. All through December I am doing a podcast every week instead of fortnightly. I'm not doing proper Vlogmas of like everyday posting, but I'm just doing some extra podcasts so that I'm doing a podcast every weekend, so you can sort of see what I've been up to in each week. Having said that, it's not like I have filmed stuff during the week or anything like that. It's just really based around what I've been knitting, particularly Advent projects, stressing out as well for what I'm going to get finished for Christmas gifts. I wasn't really planning on knitting very many gifts and I've ended up knitting more than I expected, and it is December the 11th and I've still quite a few things to finish, but hey, that always seems to happen to me. I don't usually plan to knit a lot of Christmas gifts because I'm very cautious that I don't want to give people a knitted Christmas gift just simply because I enjoy knitting it. I want to give a Christmas knitted gift because I'm sure that person will appreciate it and like it and want it. I don't mean appreciate it as in, oh my goodness, man, you put so much work into it, but appreciate it as in, oh man, that's really thoughtful, I wanted one of these. Because I think sometimes in the past I've knitted things for people and given them to them because I've enjoyed knitting it, not really thinking about whether they're going to open it up and go, oh wow, that's a wonderful gift. So yes, this year a few people have asked for things, and they have asked for things quite late on, unexpectedly. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So yes, welcome to my YouTube channel, welcome to my podcast. As I say, my name is Amanda. I live in Derby in the UK. I am a mum, I am a teacher. I live in Derby with my husband, our chickens, our dog, one of our daughters who's sometimes home, is out a lot of the time now. Our other daughter is at university. She will be coming home this week and be with us then for the next few weeks over Christmas. Yeah, so we've got chickens, we've got a dog, we've got some gerbils in the house, and I'm always busy, always busy. So as I say, today is December the 11th. I podcast last weekend and showed you what I was knitting, so this weekend should be a fairly quick one, just going through the progress I've made. I have had a stinking cold again. Last weekend I felt better, having felt ill during the week before. I started, oh, if the camera moves slightly, that is because Stu, my dog, is with me. And he's currently under the tripod, of course. So if it suddenly crashes and all goes horribly wrong, Stu, no. Stu, no. Okay, if there's something weird editing, it's when I'm having to edit out the dog barking, because I left it in one time when he started barking at the squirrel and it made loads of people jump and I felt really bad about it. Made loads of people jump and set off other people's dogs. Stu, he's thinking about it because he can see an S-Q-U-I-R-R-E-L out of the window. If I say, oh yes, I can see it too, he's going to go mad in a minute. I can tell he is. Stu, be a good boy. Which is good boy. Yeah, okay, so if there's suddenly a weird editing and I've suddenly changed position, it'll be because the dog's gone mad, he's knocked the tripod over and it's all gone crazy. There is an S-Q-U-I-R-R-E-L outside at the moment on the fence, and it's a bit like a standoff, a Mexican standoff between that and my little dog, who is at the door just staring it out. And the moment that thing moves, this dog is going to move and bark. I just know he is. So anyway, enough of that. If I'm distracted, that's what I'm distracted by. So yes, I film the podcast usually down here, which is an office that we have got at the bottom of our garden. So you can see sort of just there, a little slither there is our house. So yeah, so that's where I'm filmed from. So what have I got for you today? I have got a finished object, complete finished object, yay, go me, which is a Christmas gift. Yes, it is, Stu. So I'm going to show you that first. And it is these. The rainbow socks. I absolutely love these. Absolutely love them. Need to knit a pair like this for myself. Okay, so I did just have to stop, so hopefully I'm editing this okay. These are a Christmas gift from my eldest daughter. They are made with a particularly long leg and cuff because she wears Doc Marten boots, and I'm hoping then you'll see the top of you'll see the actual cuffs over the top of the boots, I hope. So this is knitted. Oh no, I didn't bring the project bag down. It's knitted with Stylecraft Head over Heels sock yarn, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon. And the colourway is 1018, which is BU. And I have to keep double checking this. Yes, BU. Because there were two colourways in this particular range. So the brand is Stylecraft. It's Head over Heels sock yarn. And then they had a couple of designs called Show Your Pride. And this is 1018, which is BU. And there was one also called Be Bold. So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. I've used what we'd call a vanilla sock pattern, which means it's just plain. There's no fancy pattern in the stitching. It's just stocking stitch or stockinette. I did cast on 64 stitches. I used 2.25mm double pointed needles because that's how I prefer to knit my socks. So 64 stitches, 2x2 rib. I think I've done about 20 rows of rib. I don't know, I'll be honest and say really I just did it to a length that I like the look of, and then I always try and finish on a solid colour change so it's easy to match them. They are really well matched. And then I knitted a long way, I don't know, 8 inches maybe. I didn't really measure any of these. I just kept again knitting till it got to a length that I like the look of. And then I've done heel flap and gusset with just simple slip one, knit one pattern on the heel, turn the heel, and then just a standard wedge toe at the end. So very simple, straightforward. I don't have a pattern I sit and read and follow when I do these anymore. I just know what I'm doing. Occasionally I forget what I'm doing when I'm turning the heel, and then I'll just find any sock pattern that happens to be on my in my knit companion. I'll just open up any sock pattern in my knit pattern companion, just double check, because I always forget how many, when I'm turning the heel, how many to start with before I do my first turn and stuff. And again, once I've done that, I don't need to look at the pattern again. So really pleased with these. I know she's going to love them. She may well know that she's got them because she saw the yarn, and I did tell her I was going to knit her these, but I didn't say that I was going to knit them for her for Christmas, so she may just think they're going to be, you know, one of those pairs of socks that I knit at some time in the future, because I'm always saying, oh, I'll knit those for you, I'll knit those for you. So, or she may have sussed it and guessed that she's going to get these. So those are for Louise. And as I say, I mentioned that there is a second rainbow stripe colourway by the same designer, and the designer is Stuart Hillard, and the second colourway had thicker stripes of the rainbow colours. And when I bought this from a shop called Delta Wools, which I had to buy some other yarn online. So when I ordered that, they didn't have the other one, the Be Bold. But when I went to Knit Group this week, I was working on those, and one of the other ladies in Knit Group commented on them, saw how nice how nicely the yarn was knitting up, and decided she wanted to buy a ball of it. And then where she was buying it from, they had both in stock, so I asked her if she could put I'm really struggling to speak today. So I asked her if she could put a ball of the Be Bold in her basket for me as well. So she ordered that for me as well. And so hopefully that will arrive this week maybe. If not, I'll see her at some point anyway over Christmas, I'm sure, Christmas, New Year. And that'll be another ball of sock yarn to knit with, but probably another pair for Eloise because she loves her rainbow stuff. Or maybe they'll be for me. Got quite a bit left over, so I'm already planning on using some of those leftovers in with some plain yarn of some sort, and so maybe doing the cuffs and this bit sort of in a rainbow section, then plain, and then maybe rainbow again around the toes, something like that. I'll have to have a look to see exactly how much there is left. Right, I'm just going to pause while I ask my husband to let the dog back in the house. Right, so that's my only finished item, but last week I had set myself some targets of what I wanted to get finished, and having those finished was one of those. Wanted to have those finished this early on before Christmas because Eloise will be home in a few days, so I didn't want to be knitting on those while she was around. And that's the other reason though why she might know, is because she was here last weekend and she came downstairs at one point when I was knitting on them, and I had to kind of quickly hide them, and I don't know how well I hid them. Right, oh, there go the lights. Okay, so what else was I working on? I'm working on the Advent project that I'm working on every day. This is using the Little Likac Advent, so that's mine, that I dyed, which is based on the Nutcracker, and I've kept up with this. I've been really, really proud and impressed with myself that I've kept up with these stripes each day. There was one day, Wednesday, when I was out, I knew that I wasn't going to get done, so but I managed to get that one caught up as well. So this is up to date up till yesterday. So this has got all the colourways for Little Likac Advent up to the 10th of December. And this is how it looks. So we started with the palest of pinks, went into slightly darker pinks, into lilacs, a purpley pink, into reds, and now into grey. And this is the Advent set based on the Nutcracker. So for example, we've got Clara and Fritz, the Sugar Plum Fairy, I think this one is the Mouse King, and these are mice, the Nutcracker. So yeah, different colourways inspired by different characters from the Nutcracker. The pattern I'm using is the Wrap It Real Good by Ambah O'Brien. I had to think then because I looked at so many of her Advent designs, wraps, and couldn't decide which one to do. Now that actually is designed for double knit weight, DK weight yarn, so I'm holding, because I'm knitting fingering weight, I'm holding it double, which I do think means that some of the colours are coming out slightly stronger or slightly different to how they might be if it was just in the single 4-ply. But I'm really happy with it. It's really squishy. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful wrap. I might just move the camera down a little bit lower. Bear with. Is that a bit lower? Maybe. So yeah, that's how this is going to look. Oh, love this. Love the colours. Really, really happy with how it's coming out. So if anybody else has got my Advent, I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. There's one of the stitch markers that came with it. I think I've been using some of the other stitch markers on other projects. So let's pop that one away. I have got about this much left of each one, so not sure yet. I think they're going to go into my granny stripe blanket. Now I must admit though, if I start getting behind with the Christmas knitting, then unfortunately this might have to get put to one side, which I don't want to, but I've got to get some other presents finished. The other target I had was to have Louise the owl, to be working on him, and I think I said I wanted to have him completely sewn up. He's not, but we are making progress. So Louise the owl is from this book, Knitted Animal Friends by Louise Crowther. And this is a gift for my great niece, and I had been stressing about getting it to her in time. I've now decided to stop stressing, and you know what, I will send it when it's finished, and if it doesn't arrive before Christmas, it doesn't arrive before Christmas. She is only just 2 years old. She's not going to know that a Christmas present is missing. She's probably not going to be opening all her Christmas presents on one day anyway, if I remember what it's like with a 2-year-old. So you know what, if it arrives late and she has this to open between Christmas and New Year, I really don't think that's going to be a major stress. So I'm no longer stressing over it. I would like to get it finished this week. I suspect I will finish it during the week. Hopefully I will have it with me in the podcast next weekend to show you. If I haven't, if I've already posted it, then I'll record a separate bit. So this is Louise the owl. This is what he will look like. And what have I done? Well, definitely made a lot of progress since last week. This is the bag with some stuffing in. So we now have legs that look like legs. We now have a body. And we have 2 arms. Without a doubt, I am procrastinating about putting his head together because I'm just so, it's always the worst bit. It's always the fiddliest bit. And although to be fair, my experience of knitted toys and things, I've definitely got better at doing faces and things. So I'm sure it will be okay, but I am without a doubt procrastinating. I've used mattress stitch to seam it, which is not bad. It's pretty good on this one actually. Very good on that one, I feel. So his little feet, his little legs. So yeah, so most of it is stuffed and ready to sew together. Just the head. And then clothes wise, last week I hadn't finished the duffel coat. I still had an arm to finish on the duffel coat. I have finished the arm. What I haven't finished doing is the other little bits of the toggles. I think the toggles were already sewn on last week, so I've got these bits. So the animated duffel coat is pretty much finished. His jumper is still the same as last week, waiting for buttons to be put on. And then his trousers though, his trousers, this time last week I'd only just cast his trousers on. His trousers are now looking like this. So all of the bottom bit is done. And then if he was an animal which had a tail, that's where his tail would stick out. But he won't have a tail, so he'll have buttons. And you can see then that I am ready. I've now got one leg on waist yarn and the other leg ready to go on. To carry on, and that will be knitted in the round on double pointed needles. So here, this stitch marker, I treated myself to a stitch marker advent calendar by the talented Chapel View Crafts. I've been admiring their stitch markers for a couple of years, absolutely love them, and I, on a whim, decided to get their 12-day advent calendar. I ordered it late, so it did arrive after the 1st of December. It doesn't matter, it's only 12 days anyway, so I think I've opened 3 days worth, but the first day had 2 in it, so I don't know if it's a bonus one or if I'm going to have one with none in it. And that's one of the gorgeous stitch markers. They're not all Christmas themed. What she did say was when you place your orders, if you messaged her if you've got anything specific requests, because the theme was cakes and biscuits, I think. So my request was just simply, could I have a couple of Christmas stitch markers in there though. So there's a little gingerbread house which is adorable. So my target tonight is to have one leg finished on the trousers. And then I will feel that I've got a good amount done today, because I've been working, to be fair, I've been working on that first top part of the trousers this morning. So if I get one leg completed on that tonight as well, I should be very pleased. So next weekend I will either have pre-recorded because the owl will have already been posted, or I will have the owl completed to show you next weekend. And that's why, as I say, if I work on this, the advent calendar wrap may not get kept up with. Okay, what else have I been working on? Let me just put all of this away properly. So the other Christmas present that I've been working on is one for my mum. And I said excuse me, got a bit of fluff. I said last weekend that my mum had, or I'd only just found out that my mum had said to my daughter that she wanted a pair of fingerless gloves, and when I spoke to her, it's actually proper. When I say fingerless, she wants gloves that have got fingers, but fingers only halfway up. Scrooge gloves, as we would call them. So last week when you saw this, I had only done the first few rows of the ribbing. I'd only done that much of the ribbing, but now, ta-da, it has grown. It's most definitely grown. Oh, and here's one of the other another one of the stitch markers from Chapel View Crafts. Little jammy Dodger biscuit, how adorable is that? So absolutely gorgeous. Or maybe it's a mince pie actually. Just realised I think it's a mince pie, isn't it? Yeah, we'll call it a mince pie. So it's adorable anyway. So this is the fingerless or not glove pattern, and I've started here the increases for the thumb, and I'm knitting this on 2.5mm needles. I'm hoping it will be big enough for my mum, who has got quite large hands. Loving the way it's striping this yarn, nice subtle stripe, sort of a mild effect. And this is the Wendy Happy, which I talked about quite a lot last week, which is a bamboo nylon blend, 4-ply. And the colourway for this one is Aquarius. Not that my mum is an Aquarius, I just liked the colours. My mum's allergic to wool, so if I knit her anything, it can't have wool in it. But that's knitting up quite quickly now, and the ribbing always takes me forever, especially for some reason the bamboo, because I don't know, it's quite slippery yarn. I'm just going to put the progress keeper so we can see where I've got to for next week. So I'm just going to keep plodding away at those. Now into the stocking stitch bit. It shouldn't be too bad, just increasing for the thumb gusset. Then it will start to get fiddly once I've actually got to do all the fingers. That's going to make it fiddly, but fingers crossed. So we'll see. It doesn't matter too much if I'm a bit slower with getting this done, because they're not going to be done till Christmas Eve, as long as they're finished by Christmas Eve. I think that's all I brought down to show you. What's in that bag? Not a Christmas thing. That's what I brought down to show you. So the other thing is, literally during the week, I think on Monday, yeah, Monday evening, my daughter, youngest daughter who lives at home, suddenly said that she wants a hat. Now I'm always offering to knit my girls hats, and they always say no thanks, no thanks, they wouldn't wear them. And like I say, I don't want to knit something that they don't want, I don't want to knit them something that they're not going to use. But my youngest daughter suddenly said that she would like a bobble hat. One with like a fur pom-pom. So of course I went, oh my goodness, I was actually dead excited about it. I thought, I can knit her one for Christmas. And I immediately thought, because she was saying about the cardigans I've knitted for her that she really likes, and I thought, oh, I've got leftover yarn from both those cardigans. One was kind of like a dove grey / blue, and one was a dusky pink. Does she want the hat in either of those colours? No, of course not. She wants beige. Have I got any beige double knit wool? I say double knit because what I did was I went to my Ravelry library with all my patterns and searched on hats, and just plonked the iPad in front of her and said, tell me which hat, because I've got these patterns already. And the one she chose, which funnily enough was the one I would have chosen for her, so the one she chose was the Cheering Hat by Helen Stewart, and that takes DK yarn. So I went, yeah, absolutely fine, great, and I thought that's absolutely the one I would have picked for her. But have I got any DK wool in beige? Well, yes I have, but what I've got is kind of sweater quantities worth, and I don't want to break into using 2 balls of DK in that and then leave me short for a sweater. So I've had to, so when I placed the order with my friend at Knit Group for the Be Bold yarn, I had a quick look and put into her basket as well. I did speak to her first. I said, can I, because she wanted to get the order up to enough to get free shipping. So I said, oh, can I put a couple of other balls of yarn on here as well? She's like, yeah, absolutely. So I put on, I can't remember what it was now though. It was a merino. It might have been King Cole anti-tickle merino blend. Might have been. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was something that was reduced to £3 something a ball. So we shall see when that arrives. Again, not too worried if I don't start knitting on that till after next week, because I think it will knit up fairly quickly and once I'm off work. So but I'd like to do it for Christmas. But then that has left me thinking, right, okay, on Christmas Day, my mum and dad are going to be here on Christmas Day. Eloise is going to have her socks, knitted socks to open. My dad is going to have a hat that I knitted him in July, actually, in Christmas in July. I knitted a plain hat for my dad. And that was a classic thing as well, like it's a plain grey hat, which is not exactly exciting to knit. But if I had knitted my dad a hat in bright colours that I liked, he wouldn't want to wear it. If I had knitted my dad a hat with lots of cabling and bobbles, he wouldn't have wanted to wear it. So I spoke to my mum and we decided a plain grey hat he might wear. I mean, he wears hats when he's a farmer. He wears hats when he goes out on the farm, but he likes plain. So anyway, he'll have a hat to open knitted by me. Eloise will have socks knitted by me. Hopefully my mum will have gloves knitted by me. Hopefully Amelia will have the pom-pom hat knitted by me. So now I feel bad that my husband's not going to have anything. So I have put something on to one side, and maybe if I can, I'm going to try and knit him a pair of socks before Christmas as well. Yeah, we'll see. Don't know. Not sure on that one, but I'd like to, because I kind of feel bad that everybody else in the house is going to get a knitted gift from me. And again, I don't want to knit him something he won't wear, but he does like the knitted socks. So if I can, I will knit him a pair of socks before Christmas as well. What's the date today? The 11th. 2 weeks. I mean, to be fair, 2 weeks just to get a pair of socks done usually. So what have I got to do? I've got... Okay, it's not going to happen, is it? Oh, well, I'm putting it out there that I'm going to try. But I'm not going to cast those on until I've got some other things finished. Yeah, I'm really sure now the Advent wrap isn't going to get looked at much anymore, is it? I reckon the hat will only take a couple of days though. Get a hat done DK waiting 2 or 3 days. Right, so enough of me wittering on. How's your Christmas gift knitting going? Yeah, this is definitely the worst I've ever been, because as I say, normally I don't really knit very much for Christmas anyway. When the girls were young, I used to knit them toys sometimes. I knitted them hats one year when they were, how old were they? Would have been about 8 and 10. I knitted them animal hats when they were very fashionable. They were cool. One was a rabbit, and I think the other one was a panda. And I've knitted them toys before now. But anyway, yes, generally speaking, like I say, I don't try and do lots of Christmas knitting for people because I'm just not sure. But now anyway, because I've been asked for these things, really want to get them done. Alright, so thank you for joining me. Oh, actually, before I go, I do want to talk a little bit about next year. We are definitely going to be running, or I'm definitely going to be running, some works in progress knit-alongs or crochet-alongs. So just bear that in mind, because I have got quite a pile of whips, which I'm probably going to go through between Christmas and New Year. I'll get them all out once all the Christmas knitting is finished or being finished off. And I am going to definitely be running a knit along for finishing your whips. Might just be for the first 3 months of the year, might run it all through the year, because I've got some projects that I want to work on next year, which will be long term and may potentially take the whole year to finish. So yes, and anything basically that is cast on before the 31st of December will therefore count as a whip for 2023. So we will definitely be running a whip make along, and we'll be sending out prizes, and hopefully using Ravelry to have a bit of chat on there, and to share projects that we're working on, and hopefully finishing. The shop, I am probably going to close up the shop on Etsy over the next couple of weeks, simply because postage now is a nightmare, and I don't want anyone to be disappointed, and certainly nothing's going to get, you can't guarantee anything's going to get there before Christmas. So might keep it, I might close it, or I might just put some notice up on the shop saying that nothing will be posted out, that last week before Christmas. Anyway. Yeah, well, what else have I been up to? Trying to do some Christmas shopping. I'm looking over there because behind the iPad is the desk, the office desk, and all around the desk there are lots of Christmas presents that need wrapping. So I'm going to have to start on that soon now as well. Okay, so yeah, the last of the Christmas orders, the last December club order is going out this weekend, and then there will be the new club for January. Thank you for joining me. I hope you are having a lovely December. Hope you are enjoying what you're knitting for Christmas or Advent knitting or any winter knitting, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.